Unidentified vessel, sector E7. Repeat, sector E7. This is INS Badr Mayday. State your intentions.
In the shadow of the Cold War, a spark ignited the Arabian Sea. What began as a quarrel over biryani recipes would erupt into a battle for survival. India and Pakistan, nations born from partition, now teetered on the brink of diplomatic kitchens, sizzled with accusations, but far from negotiating tables. Under the cover of darkness, Pakistan's fleet advanced. Their target, the strategic Diu Peninsula. India's maritime sovereignty and pride hung in the balance. And then the unthinkable happened. One of the Harriers that was tasked with scouting the enemy warships dropped a bomb on one of them, triggering the start of the conflict.
Mayday, 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 this is PNS Badr. Grid D5, we're under attack. We nautical sailing bags, put side full breached. We are taking water. My engines are offline.
INS Vikrant unleashed its wrath. The push of landing craft class packed with Pakistani Marines vanished beneath the curtain of fire. Amphibious invasion plans sank with it. What ensued was a ferocious symphony of fire and steel. Naval cannons roared, missiles carved the sky, and the Arabian Sea became a graveyard of ambition. INS Delhi, a Cashin-class Titan, launched its SN in 2 sticks, a 25-mile kill chain.
On station. Атака невозможна. Необходима цель. Вас понял. Курс 200.
Warfare had evolved. Distance was irrelevant. Only speed mattered. Bravery met futility. A Pakistani patrol boat armed with nothing but machine guns challenged a destroyer. There was no contest. The sea swallowed its defiance whole. The dawn of the missile age. Warships no longer dueled with cannons alone. A single radar lock could spell doom. But with power came peril. Missiles demanded precision, or they demanded graves. But victory is fleeting. The INS Delhi's triumph turned into ash. A barrage of Pakistani Harpoon missiles guided by French radar found their mark. Steel groaned, souls screamed, and India's pride sank beneath the waves. Radar pulses lit the sky like a digital lightning, but for every lock a countermeasure. Strikes, India's anti-radar missiles sought SAM sites and failed. Pakistan's crowtail system stayed silent, throwing pilots into traps. The sky was a chessboard of deception. India's INS Vikrant answered with fury. A swarm of Harriers and bombs darkened the sky. The target, the Pakistan's crippled fleet. Bombs fell like meteors. India's F-4 Phantoms, beasts of the sky, haunted Pakistani mirages. Strikes missed, but Sidewinders did not. Karachi's Air Force learned a brutal lesson. Altitude is life.
Splash track 7070. Roger. Turn
The carrier, a floating fortress, a bullseye. Vikrant's captain gambled everything. Steer into the wind, launch every plane, pray the submarine stay blind. By dawn, Pakistani's fleet was a smoldering dust husk. Their destroyers silent, their missiles spent. Only one support ship went onward, but the sea has no mercy.
Hit track 70. Guns. 0. Whip it away.
India's Foxtrot-class submarine stalked the wounded. A single torpedo, a final explosion, and the Arabian Sea proclaimed its dead.
Hit track 7006. Потерян контакт.
Battle of Diu Strait left scars deeper than steel. For India, the loss of the Kashin-class destroyer, 4 F-4 Phantoms, and 6 T-55 tanks marked a bitter triumph. Pakistan paid in blood. PNS Al-Mir and Badr Mayday shattered. 2 Garian-class destroyers reduced to scrap, and the Reproach-class landers, once symbols of invasion, now rusting tombs beneath the waves. Even the skies mourned. The MiG-23s and F-4Es fell like meteors. Their pilots lost to the abyss. Moscow hailed Delhi's restraint, while Washington's silence spoke volumes. The no-online movement fractured Pakistan's patrons, and Beijing condemned India's aggression, even as they funneled submarines to Karachi. The world's headlines howled, culinary war goes global. But behind closed doors, the dark truth emerged. The Cold War had found a new battleground, and neither superpower would let it end here. From Wall Street to Warsaw, the shockwaves spread. Oil prices soared, NATO fleets mobilized, and in the halls of the Kremlin, red telephones rang. The missile age had proven its ruthlessness. A single skirmish could tilt the world towards chaos. But this was no end. India's Vikrant, battered but unbroken, steamed west, her decks still buzzing with Harriers. Pakistan's surviving C-class submarines lurked, hungry for vengeance. In the shadows, new players stirred. SA-3 sights, imaged but defiant. The T-72s, crowding towards Kashmir peaks, and whispers of a Ghazi-class submarine armed with something the West dared not to name. Stand by for next chapter. What's up, everyone? This is New Mechanics here. I hope you enjoyed the video. As I am finishing editing this video here, I looked at the news, and apparently in real life, India has actually attacked Pakistan, which is nuts. I was about to just finishing editing the video. I was about to upload it, and then this happened. That's wish for the best. Hopefully they can figure things out before this escalates any further. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about how I made the mission. So this is a dynamic campaign. I'm going to be using AI as the enemy. So I'm going to set up a board game with the hexagons, and I'm going to have AI move the pieces around. So we're going to have a limited set of assets, and I'm basically... Well, I already did that. I created the hexagons, and then I sent it over to AI, and then first I made sure AI understood what the game was, and the parameters and the units, and then I asked the AI for help to create the scenarios and everything. And so basically what we're going to be doing here is it's going to be kind of like Warno and the commander mode, and AI is going to be in charge of moving their troops around and everything. So it's going to be real fun. So the way you do it is basically you just talk to the AI, you set parameters, you set the rules, and it's really good at understanding. In this case, I used ChatGPT as well as the DeepSeek, and worked really well. So I did some tests. AI is able to move pieces around, but for the first mission, I wanted to build a first contact, and then later on, I'm just going to be using the dynamic campaign style. So I made some icons that can move around the map just so I know what units are in what quadrant and everything. So it's going to be pretty fun, I believe, and see you guys around.